Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1:02 p.m. here in Chicago, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Monday, March 28th. I have to double check on that, as I pretty much have to do every single day. Today, it's almost the end of March 2022. And let me tell you what, I had my winter running mittens and hand warmers in them today. My hands were still cold. It is very cold out there today, guys. I am ready for spring, and it is just not here yet. You know, I want to say that I should be used to this by now, having lived in Chicago for what? Since 2004, so like 18 years now, 2005, something like that. So I should be used to this by now, but I am not. I'm just so ready for spring. Hopefully it's better where you guys are. Everyone listening on the podcast, if you're out there running in the audio only version, hopefully it's warmer where you are, or at least you're not getting the crazy headwinds that I also had today. So hopefully you're having some good weather, and everyone watches this on YouTube later. Hopefully it's the end of the day and you're relaxing and putting this on, and hopefully you're nice and warm and inside. All right, let's see who we got in the chat for today. We got Frank. He's here talking about he's not a huge fan of the Float Ride Energy 3. Just seems stiff and dead to me. It's comfortable enough, but the ride is like an on-shoe. At least it was cheap. You know, I know what you mean by that, Frank. I was thinking about that when I was running in the Float Ride Energy 3 Adventure, which I know that the Float Ride 4 is out. And then there's the other racing float ride that's out. Those are on the way. That's why I remember, I kind of forgot that I had the Float Ride Energy 3, and I've been meaning to use it. I've been meaning to review it. And then I got the email about the Float Ride 4, and I was like, oh, I forgot I had that shoe. And I was just going to be like, sometimes I get a shoe and I don't make a video about it. But I just wanted to wear it, so I was like, I should make a video. Because I do like the way it looks. But it makes me think like, well, if On made a shoe without clouds and without a speed board, and it felt like this, I'd be happier with some of the On shoes. So, I mean, I know what you mean, for sure. All right. If Ina says, hi, Kafuzi and everybody. Normal service has been resumed. British summertime has arrived, so it's back to 7 p.m. here for the live stream. Yeah, you know what's weird to me, too? One is that, like, you guys do daylight savings time as well, and it's at a different time, like, of year, you know? Like, that's bizarre to me. Also, it was, like, Mother's Day for, like, part of the world. I saw a lot of Mother's Day posts. Was it Mother's Day in the UK? So I saw a lot of those, and I was like, oh, did I forget? I'm like, no, wait, it's still spring. So in the U.S., it's not for much later. It's not until like May in the U.S. So, that's like other things that are also just really bizarre to me. Lucas H says, hello, my running friends. And Chris Dyke gives a wave saying, hi, folks. All right. Lucas H says, when tasting gels from Mukbangs, do you eat the whole gel, all of them, or put a clip on the top and save it for a run later? That's what we're going to do today. Today, we're going to talk about these. These are e-gels. I guess I should hold them the right way up so you guys can read the labels. E-gels. DadRunnerAl gave these to me when we were in LA. He'd been talking about these before, and I just have never seen them. So I was really thankful that he brought some for me, and I brought them back, and I'm gonna try them today. So I think it depends, Lucas, for your question. Like, what do I do with it? I did the tasting for the all the Univet flavors a little while ago, and there was like 7 or 8 flavors that we went through. There's no way a person should eat that many gels. I only did a sampling. I just like took like a taste of each one, and even then, I think like after that, I was just jittery for a couple of hours afterwards. Because it's like if you're not, burning calories at the time, like in the middle of a run, and you're just taking in all that sugar, it's a lot. So I mean, if you think about it, though, the strange thing is, people will drink like a big gulp of soda. It's like the same amount of sugar as drinking like several gels all at once, and it doesn't faze people. I don't know how that works. Maybe that's why sodas are so popular in ultra racing. But when it's gel form, it just hits me real fast. So today, though, I don't know if I'll eat the whole things of these because these are big gels. Each of these gels is how many ounces is it? It's like 1 point. Where does it say it here? It said it somewhere. It's a lot. I'll find it. I'm sure I'll say, oh, here we go. 1.9 ounces for each gel, 55 grams. So it's a pretty big gel, and there's 37 grams of carbs in each one of these. So I don't know if I'll eat the whole one of these, try them all, but I'll give it a good tasting, just enough to make sure I know what I'm getting. And then a lot of times it's a little bit wasteful because I don't know, like I'm always terrified that I'm going to eat a gel and it's just gonna, and I'm just gonna be like, zhoop, and like squeeze it up like a tube of toothpaste and it's just gonna be mold. I've never had that happen before. I've never heard of that happening to anyone, but I'm always just like, what? Because we used to give those like squeeze pouches of like applesauce to my kids, and my wife used to be like, taste it first. So that way, if it's rancid, you'll know and the kids won't get it. And I was like, what kind of weird life do you live where you're always worried about this stuff? And now I can't stop thinking about it. So I probably won't save it because I'm worried that it will go rancid or rotten on me. So it'll be a little bit of a waste, but I'll at least get a chance to try it out, test it out for you guys, and give you guys my thoughts. All right. Sean Devlin says, hey everyone, with a wave. The Achilles survived 20 on the he ran 20 miles of the Boston course. Now that's a way to do your 20 miler. He had perfect weather, and it was inspiring to see so many others out there, especially on the Newton Hills, starting to get excited. Ooh, wow. Yeah, Boston's getting close. It's in what? Not this weekend, not the weekend after that. So 3 weekends. So like the perfect time for your 20 miler. Ooh. Yeah. I mean, it's almost taper time for you guys. So awesome. I really wish I could go this year, but I think I'm not going to be able to go. Jason Dahl says, hey everyone, another cold day in Chicago. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. By the way, I keep looking over in that direction, and I'm a little bit distracted because over there is a very tall building, and there's a window washer on it. And a lot of times when there's window washing on high-rise buildings, they're in like a scaffolding that like gets lowered down, like it gets lowered down as they wash the windows. Other times when there's window washers, they're like hanging from a rope. They've got like a bucket behind them, and then they like splash all the soap on, and then they wipe it all off with the other. It's that kind. And I remember when I was way long time ago before law school, I spent a year as a temp in Chicago, and anytime I could, I would just watch the window washers because I was like, that's a job I really want. How do I get that job? Screw this law school stuff. I want to be a professional window washer. Yeah, I don't know why. I never pursued that. Martha got her 20 miler in. I saw the Instagram post on that. Looked good out there, Martha. Well done. Let's see. Danny J says, hey, friends. And Stephen C. 1984 had a PB on the weekend. All right, 132.04. Whoa, it's loud. Sorry. 132.04 in the half, down from 135.09. So a minute and 5 seconds. Great job, Stephen C. Well done. I think there was a lot of half marathons over the weekend. I'm loving to see it. I love Mondays. I love to hear about your guys' PRs, and I love to see videos on YouTube of people who ran over the weekend. So I'm a big fan of that. Congratulations. Eric the Red says, running in Chicago has been brutal. Yeah, it's been raining a lot. It's been so wet. The temperatures have been so cold. It's been a normal spring. But it's been tough. It's been tough. Danny Running with Scissors says, good morning, Cohen Friends. Finally made a live stream. It's been a while. It's good to see you. And Fantapolis Dopke says, oh yeah, split shorts and singlet today. Yeah, that's not how it is over here. All right. Steve says, yo, what's going on? He's on a quick sunset walk. It's his first run in 6 weeks. Was yesterday, and every muscle is aching. Ooh. Well, hopefully you'll be able to get back into it. Good day to go for a walk. Good day to go for a walk. Way to do it. Luis says in LA or in California, Mexico. I met Luis in California, but he's in Mexico. Says last week we were at the mid 80s, and now we have 15 mile per hour winds, and the rain is in the forecast. That's Tijuana. Yo, what's going on? I didn't know that Tijuana got a lot of rain. I don't know too much about Tijuana. One of my good friends, Ben, he lived in San Diego for a long time. And he would tell me he would just go to Tijuana on the weekends. For some reason, I thought it was so far. He's like, no, it's just you drive. And I was like, well, I get that you drove there, But he would tell me all these stories about how he would just go there on the weekends and he would eat lobster. And I'm like, there's lobster in Tijuana? I'm like, I get it. It's a coastal town, but like, I didn't know there was lobster down there. But maybe that's somewhere I should go. Sounds like fun. Edgar Smith said, yo, finally made it to a live stream. Good to see you, Edgar. Thanks for stopping by. If anyone is here new and came with a running question, make sure you put it in there. If I haven't seen it already, feel free to put it in there again. Make sure so it bubbles up to the top so I can see it. Welcome to everyone who's new here. We're just hanging out. I'm going to try some gels in a minute here, see how they are. Never had them before, so we'll do a little taste test. And it's just a bunch of runners hanging out. So welcome to newcomers and all the regulars alike. That's something that I want to make sure I do more of. I feel like we got a really good group of regulars. Maybe not people that come every day, but people whose names I recognize when I see it in the chat. But I do want to make sure that we are still being welcoming to people who are new and here for the first time. Sue says, hi, everyone. It's 23 degrees Fahrenheit this morning in New York. Yeah, that's what it was here yesterday. It was like 25 degrees for my run. It's going to be 69 on Thursday. Crazy. Well, that sounds good. Does anyone know what the weather's going to be like in D.C.? That's going to be... Reese Dawson asked anyone got any races this weekend. You can race his first race the first half marathon on Sunday. Good luck. I'm going to be in D.C. This weekend. Hopefully I'll be seeing a lot of you guys there on the Shakeout Run on Saturday, 9 a.m. We'll meet at the World War II Memorial. I'm really hoping for, if not warm weather, at least dry weather for the race. Because, I want to get a lot of footage of the cherry blossoms and I think running around D.C. is probably one of my favorite places to run. I just love running in the National Mall area, running around the Potomac, and all those other bodies of water that I don't know what they're specifically called. But it's just a great place to run. I really enjoy it. There's always something to look at. So the runs go by quickly in my mind. And then it's there's always that kind of mix of school tour groups and then very serious people in suits. And then other serious people in suits who I'm presuming are just keeping an eye out for security purposes and wondering who this dude with the big stick is. When as I run around with my selfie stick and stuff, this is the new case for the Insys 361 RS, by the way. It's kind of weird. But it's just what I have by me. But yeah, so it's always kind of this weird mix of groups of people. And then there's a lot of runners. It's a big running town. So I'm looking forward to that over the weekend. All right. Adam says, first run in the Metaspeed Edge. I wanted to say Metaspeed Sky Edge, but it's Metaspeed Edge yesterday. Not fast and legs hammered. We're going in. We'll see at 10 miles Sunday in Sacto. What's that? Sacto. Loud like the sky and seemed to be quieter towards the end. I think my stride automatically adapted. I think that's possible too. Yeah, the only thing, I haven't tried the Edge before, but the only thing that I've heard about it is from Dina Castor. She was telling me about it when I met her in Austin at TRE. And she said that she doesn't really know the difference between the Edge and the Sky. She's if he did a blind, tasting, I guess, but if a blind shoe try on, she's not sure she would know which one is which. But she says that some of her athletes do, that she coaches. And she says that sometimes they will put on the Metaspeed Edge for their track work. So stuff that's faster than 10K pace or 5K pace, or faster than that even. And then they'll reach for the Metaspeed Sky when they're on the roads and doing marathon pace work or half marathon pace work. So that's how she says that's how some very fast people like to use the two shoes differently. So I'm wondering maybe if it's one is a little bit more suited towards shorter distance racing, but I'm not really sure because I haven't tried them yet myself. All right. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of the chat to make sure I Oh, okay. Sacto is Sacramento. Where CIM finishes. Yes. Okay. That's what I thought. I just didn't know if it was somewhere else. All right. The Sober Gummy says 57 and cloudy on Sunday in DC. That's some good racing weather. That sounds really good. Good racing weather for Yeah, Luke Klein says overcast and no rain. Awesome. I can't really ask for much better than that. I mean, like sunny would also be good too, but I'll take it. I'll take that any day. I think that'll be good, really good racing weather. I'm not sure what I'm going to be in the mood for on Sunday race wise. Part of me is like mentally I'm ready to like really go after another run, a hard run, and then I came back from my run today. I think I ran. I don't know. I don't remember how much I ran. I ran down to the Navy Pier and back. I think that's going to be about 8.5 miles, maybe 8 miles. And I was just sitting here at the table getting ready for a live stream, and I was like, I'm tired. So like I wasn't panting, but I just felt like a little bit tired. So like an easy run this far out from the marathon has me feeling a little tired. So who knows what I'll actually be ready for. But if the weather's nice, I'll be able to get at least some good footage of the race. Super Unjit says, currently 33 in Minneapolis, and it was cold enough this morning I had to use puffy mittens. I thought I was done with those for the year. Yeah. So let me tell you what I've been doing. This last week, I was thinking, all right, it's cold now. I still need to get some of that winter running clothes out. But the way I use my winter running clothes is I like for running like jackets and stuff. If it's an easy run, I might not get that sweaty. And so I will kind of like flip it out inside out, let it kind of air out, and then I'll hang it in my closet inside out to let myself know that this is a piece that has been worn once, maybe twice before when I put it on. So like if I'm going to go on a group run, maybe don't bring that one. But if I'm just going out for another easy run, fine. And so this last week, I'm like, oh, surely the cold temperatures will end. This is the last of it. So I've been like going through all the inside out clothes in the closet and then wearing it and then putting it into the hamper. But now I'm looking at the forecast for this week and I'm like, oh, tomorrow's going to be cold. Wednesday's going to rain. Thursday's going to be a little bit warmer, but like 40 degrees here in Chicago. So I'm like, now I'm going to have to go wash all that stuff, wear it again. And then when it's really not that dirty still, to wash it again before I put it away for the winter, for the spring. So you can never win with the laundry. Never win. DadRunnerAl is here. He says, "Yo, hello everyone. Al, I got the e-gels, so I'm going to try them today. I think that's a perfect time to start off with them. Thanks so much for giving me these. All right. Let me tell you what. Well, I'll start with this one. I'm going to start with the Radical Raspberry. There's 2 flavors. Radical Raspberry, I mean, I don't know if there's more, but I'll give me 2 flavors. Radical Raspberry and Juicy Watermelon. So you guys know I don't always love raspberry stuff. Sometimes I don't mind it. Sometimes it makes me nervous. But we'll see. But this just about 2 ounces of gel has 150 calories and 37 grams of carbs. So that's a big one. That's a lot of sugar in there. And it also has 230 milligrams of salt. So if you're looking for a gel that has a little bit of salt, I mean, they're e-gels, they're electrolyte gels. So if you're looking for salt, it's also got some magnesium. And I thought I saw magnesium. No, I see potassium in here. So if you're looking for that, this is what you want to do. So what I did for LA, I did 2 Martins and then 2 gels that had a little bit more salt in them, and then 2 Martins. I did a Unived and then a Humachia Plus. And then I did 2 Martins to kind of finish off the 6 gels for the race. So like this is the kind of thing that that I usually kind of look for in terms of something that has more salt. It's a lot more important on a day when it's going to be hot and I'm sweating more. I sweat a lot at LA, but not like a ton. Not like compared to how much I sweat at Chicago last year. So cheers, guys. We'll give it a try. It smells good. It smells like kind of like almost like a gum, like a candy flavor. This is good. I like this. It's a raspberry flavor that I don't dislike. It's a thicker gel. It's not as thick as a goo. It's not as like liquidy or loose as like a Unived. So I like the texture of this one a lot. It kind of tastes, it's a little bit thicker than the filling of a jelly donut. but it definitely reminds me of like jelly donut flavor, like raspberry jelly donut. That's what this is. It actually tastes really good. I might go for another. But look, what color do you think it is on the inside? It looks like it probably is purple, but it's like a creamy color. That's gonna spill all over. Yeah, but it's like a white, like a creamy pasty color. So, like a donut. Everything reminds me of a donut. So really good. It's very surprised. I was not sure I was gonna like that one. Danny J says, what are the ingredients? Maltose and dextrose are my guess. Yeah, first ingredient, maltodextrin. Good guess. And then filtered water, fructose, citric acid, sodium citrate, potassium citrate, and then natural flavor. And then there's the E-gel amino acid blend of leucine, valine, isoleucine, and histidine. And then there's antioxidant vitamins, C and E, and sodium benzoate and potassium sorbate to retain freshness. So there you go. So that's what it is. Pretty good. Shannon says loose. I don't love that word when talking about gel. I don't know how else to describe like Unived. I like what, it's not viscous. It's I don't know what the opposite of viscous is. I usually just say liquidy, like it's like a liquid. But like that's not really a word, so I just don't know how to describe what it is. Yeah. DadRunnerAl is providing his own disclosure. He says, I have no affiliation with them. I just think they're great. And you can go to their website and compare your own gel to it. That's cool. Yeah, he says it has saved a nauseous stomach for me before and also stopped cramps. It just reminds me of a donut. Like I could totally see eating that, like having that inside a donut or a pastry. It was very sweet, which it makes sense because there's 37 grams of sugar in there, but pretty good. Pretty good. Stokes8 said, I had to use Adidas warm mittens in the morning. Yeah, I had my Kraft winter mittens, which I didn't have them yesterday. I went with a different pair of like winter gloves, and I didn't bring hand warmers, and my hands were just like painfully cold, and it just stayed with me the entire day. Once my hands get like that cold, they never come back. They just feel cold all day long, and I'm always kind of grumpy about it. So today I was like, I gotta find, and I couldn't even find my winter gloves. I was like, I didn't put them away for the winter. But I was like, that sounds like something I would have done prematurely. So yeah. So, but like, unfortunately I found them today. They kind of like hid themselves underneath the bed a little bit. I had to do some digging to find it and go get it. But yeah, I was glad I had them today. And I was like, the hand warmers might be overkill, but I don't care. And with the wind, really strong wind out of the north. And so as I was running south to start, I was like, oh, I'm hot. I'm sweating. My hands are hot. This was way overkill. And then once I turned around and I had a strong headwind, I was like, oh, I'm cold. I'm so cold. I'm like, I felt like I was overdressed, and now I feel like I'm so underdressed. So I was like, one of those. All right. Someone was saying, oh yeah, Stokes8 says, do you usually use gel on long runs? I debate if I should be using them on relatively easy but longer efforts. I don't use them as like regularly during the winter. In the wintertime, I don't know. Usually in the winter, I'm not training for a marathon. So usually in the winter, it's a lot of just easy running, and it's just kind of like going out there and trying to manage the cold is my biggest concern. I'm usually not sweating that much, and I'm usually not bringing that much liquid. So it's kind of like, if I feel like it, if I'm going to be out there for longer than like an hour and a half, then I'll start thinking about it. Sometimes if I'm out there for an hour, I probably wouldn't bring it. Even a lot of times for my workouts in this winter, I would bring like 1 to 2 gels for longer workouts, but I'd just be so cold, I wouldn't want to like try to deal with like getting the workouts done, getting the gels open so I can get the workout done. So it was just, I didn't do that many. In the summer, I use a lot more. And for the summer, I feel like anything that's going to be over like an hour and 15 minutes or so, then I'll at least bring liquid or a gel, and then maybe consider bring like either stopping at a water fountain along the way, because those are pretty readily available along the lakefront path here in Chicago, or I'll bring some sort of fuel on my own. A lot of times I'm bringing the waist pack, the flip belt. So I do pretty regularly. So I have a couple of like tiers of gels that I use, like the expensive ones that I save for like races and some of the more key workouts. And then some ones that are in the middle that I just like kind of like to have. And then I also have very cheap ones that are just like, I just need something. So, and the cheap ones are usually like, I like the Cliff Roctane. There's like a chocolate coconut. That's like one of my favorites. And then Science and Sport. I think you could probably get some cheaper ones than even those, but like as far as like cheapness goes, and I like how they work and they're easy for me to digest, those are the ones that are working for me. So that's kind of how I like split it up. Brendan Cam's here. He says, "Oh, why hello there. I hope you're all doing well. What's going on, Brendan? Hopefully you guys are staying warm up there in Halifax. It's cold here, I gotta tell you. I mean, it's not that cold. It's just I'm ready for it to be warm." Oh, Adam wants to know, did I run over the weekend? Did the kids kill each other? Did you tell your wife you were leaving them alone? I did run over the weekend. The kids were fine because I got them in the morning. They're such slow movers in the morning. It's kind of tough to get them to school on time a lot of the times. And on the weekends, it's hard to get them moving. Sometimes I'm like, all right, I got back from the run. I started early so we get back early and get moving. And they're like, we just woke up a little while ago, Dad. We just want to watch iPad, you know? So it's just like sometimes but like I caught them in like the iPad watching moment. They already knew how to use FaceTime. I just made sure that like I was in the recently called list in their FaceTime or at the top of it so they could just push a button. And then I told my daughter to set a timer. And if you don't hear from me within like, an hour and 20 minutes, because I was expecting to be gone no more than like an hour. Like if you don't hear from me in an hour and 20 minutes, FaceTime me and I'll tell you where I am, and if you don't hear from me, then call mommy, that kind of thing. So like that was the plan. And they were fine. Like they were in the exact same spots when I left them when I got back. So it worked out okay. I ended up not telling my wife about it beforehand. I don't know if she had heard, because she's in the other room. She can usually hear what we're talking about in here. So if she's not, usually she's on a call. A lot of times she's on a call and has the door closed, but if she's not, she'll have the door open. I don't know if she hears. So she might have known already. But I had mentioned like when, we were talking when she got back home yesterday that like, it was real cold on my runs and stuff. And she was like, how far did you run over the weekend? And I was like, oh, I was always within a mile of home. I just did some loops. So I think that either she knew but I didn't like tell her ahead of time. So I might be in trouble. I'm probably in trouble. But she let it go for the moment. The kids are all fine. I really thought, I thought was going to happen is I thought that like she was going to get home, like put her bags down, and the kids are going to be like, guess what Daddy did? He left us home for like an hour over the weekend. I really thought that's how it was going to be. I really thought it was going to be like that. But it wasn't. They were chill. They were chill about it. So, yeah. I'm still here for now. Dr. Josh is here, says, what up, co-fam? What's going on, Dr. Josh? I was just thinking about you on my run today. I was like, I hope Dr. Josh is doing all right. Yeah, that's all it was. All right. Luis says, the e-gels helped you with cramps. Oh, I think he helped DadRunnerAl with cramps. Maybe I need to try them out. Use Spring and One Martin in the LA Marathon. I think need something extra for cramps. You know what? You know what you can use for cramps? You could take that Hot Shots. Dr. Josh likes the Hot Shots. I thought it was okay. It was like a spicy pickle juice to me. But yeah. Travis McCullough says, do you notice a big difference in the higher price gels? I think so. So like the Humid Chia Plus is a little bit more expensive. It's kind of like $2.75, almost $3 a pack. And then the Martins are $4. Spring Energy is kind of in that like $3.50 range. Spring Energy, like I don't feel like it performs better for me, but I just feel like I'm just eating food. And so I feel like, all right, that's why that's expensive. Because I just feel like I'm eating fruit purees that are just not as like watery as fruit purees would be, but I just feel like I'm eating like fruit sauce, like applesauce and stuff. And it just feels great. Um, a very like a condensed, concentrated version of that, and it's really good. The Human Chia Plus, I really like that one. It's got a good amount of salt. It's got a little bit of caffeine, or some of them do. The flavor is good, and it's got a good amount of sugar. I just feel really good when I feel like I could eat those all day, and I wouldn't have a problem. I remember when I did the Crater Trail 50K, I went heavy on the Human Chia Plus, because I knew I was going to be sweating a lot. It's going to be like 85 degrees. So I wanted something that had a little bit more electrolytes, and that also that I could stomach all day long. And then the Martins, I just feel like, man, it just gets into your system fast, and it keeps you like really topped up. And so like never get any GI distress, really easy to eat, and it goes down fast, it hits you fast, and I feel like your body can access it fast, so that's why I like that one. All right, let's see. DadRunnerAl says the e-gel is $2 a pack. Yeah, I think so. Like that would put it like kind of at the lower end, to medium end in terms of pricing. Like I think the Science and Sport, I usually buy there's like a 30 pack that you can buy. I usually buy that one, and I think I'm getting them for like $1.25 per unit. I think the Roctanes are like closer to $1 and something a unit, right? I haven't bought any Roctane in a while, so I can't really remember. But yeah. So that's kind of like where I see the kind of the pricing for it. Dan Johnson says, regarding watching the kids and your wife, it's generally better to ask for forgiveness and permission. I don't know. I really feel like I should have asked for permission on this one. And I meant to. We talked about it on Friday. I meant to. The day got away from me, and I didn't get a chance to do it. And then, so like it wasn't a good time to kind of bring it up. Sean Devlin says, my 10-year-old's the same way. More than once she looked up from her iPad and called out to my wife, and I'm like, your mother's been gone for an hour. Yeah, my kids will do that too. Sometimes my kids, sometimes we really spoil the kids, and in the morning, sometimes if it's a lazy day, we'll let them kind of like relax, have some breakfast on the couch, and kind of just veg for a little bit. And, they'll be demanding. They'll be like, Dad, I want a pancake. Or like I'll put Nutella on like a waffle, and they'll eat it like a sandwich. Sometimes they eat it open faced, like a tostada, and other times they'll fold it up and eat it like a taco. So I'll let them eat it on the couch. It's a leather couch, so we can just wipe everything down when they spill. But sometimes they'll be like, Dad, I asked you like a long time ago, where's my Nutella waffle? And I'm like, it's right there. Your hand is basically in it. You're like touching it. It's been there for like 20 minutes. I gave it to you, and I told you it was there, and you didn't really recognize that I was there. So they just get in the zone. Kids they get hypnotized by it. We all do. All humans do. I think it's like I see it whenever I go. I guess I don't see it that much at the park anymore. I guess it's been a while since my kids are getting old for like parks and playgrounds, I guess. But I used to see it all the time. The place I would see it the most would be at the planetarium. The planetarium is not that big, and so people tend to let their kids kind of roam free at the Adler Planetarium in Chicago. And they would just be like kids. I'd be like the only adult like interacting with my kids, and I'd be surrounded by like a sea of other children, all unattended. And I'm like, if I wanted to take a kid, so easy. I could just do it. But not that I want to take a kid. The ease of it is not what holding me back, or the difficulty. But I'm just like, no one's paying attention to their kids. And like some of the kids are being nasty to each other. And like, I'm just going to let that play out, because neither of those kids are my kids. And I look around, and around the periphery of all like the planetarium is just parents on their phones, just like this. And I'm like, parents are even worse than the kids are when it comes to screen time. But you know, I'm not going to say that I'm immune to it either. But I've been really trying to like really far away, just like trick myself to not look at it so much. I've tried doing the thing where like you know how some people are like, yeah, I just deleted these apps from my phones, so that way like it would be harder for me to do them. But I'm like some of these apps I mean it's not really my job to be on social media, but it kind of is too. So it's hard to not. I need to be interacting in certain ways, but there's a lot of times where I'm like I'm just on there scrolling, you know. So I try to keep it down. Danny J says about spraying. I had the same thought about spraying. It's my current favorite gel to use in training, despite it not having the same energy punch. But I know it won't mess with my stomach. Yeah, I don't feel like I get like a real like bump from it sugar wise. I feel like, but it's like if you just want to like be able to, I guess if you're very susceptible to sugar spikes, or you just want to be able to eat more like real food, then I think that's a pretty good option for people. I wish it were cheaper. Then I would probably buy more of it. Although maybe that's just my rationale for one. Now, maybe that's my rationale for just preferring something with like a really like strong punch in the face sugar kick. You know what I mean? All right, let's get to the other flavor. I know DadRunnerAl says I should save it so I could try eating it on the run, but I'll see if I can order these because I do like that raspberry flavor. It's just like a donut. Just now I really want a donut. But I want to try this other one. This one is juicy watermelon. I enjoy that all the flavors have two words in it, you know, like a flavor name and a modifier, an adjective to go in front of it. Same numbers, 85 milligrams potassium, 230 milligrams sodium, 37 grams carbs. Same ingredients, or at least sugar sources. Maltodextrin, filtered water, and fructose are the first three ingredients here. Cheers, guys. It smells like candy. This seems a little bit thicker than the other one for some reason. And it does not taste like, well, now it tastes like watermelon. In the first beginning, and I'm still kind of smelling and tasting banana. It's like a banana. If I were to guess the flavor, I would say banana, strawberry, watermelon. I think that's kind of what I'm getting. I'm getting some sort of like other berry fruit. Maybe it's just the texture that's giving me that. Color is the same color. Yeah, same color as the raspberry. It's pretty good. I think I'd probably get the raspberry. Just because it very pleasantly reminds me of donuts. That's good. If you're looking for a gel that has 37 grams of carbs per sachet or packet, and the Univid ones are too thin or watery for you, this is a way to go. I will say that some people will probably need to take these with water. And that's the thing that like with the Univid or the Science and Sport or even Martin's, I don't need to take them with water at all. I usually don't need to take even like Cliff Shots or Goos with water either. But I know some people like kind of absolutely have to. So I think that it's a little bit easier to take than a Goo, but some people may still need water with it. Travis says, I've been using the Roctane for long runs and races for the last few months and seem to have a pretty good outcome with them. You know what? The one thing I do like about those is that they're small. Like, packets are getting big. This eGel one is relatively big. Science and Sport are huge. Univid has some big ones. Spring is big. Martin's are big. Like, all those gels are big. I still think one of the funniest products I've ever seen is that there was a District Vision pant, like running pant. and it came with 8 slots for 8 Martin gels to be put in there, kind of like a bandolero thing, like it's, but instead of bullets, it was like it was Martin gels. I just thought that was so funny. Very useful, extremely useful. I kind of wish I had those pants, but I also just think that it's like kind of like a ludicrous product. The other thing that I think is really weird is I've seen them. They have them for triathletes, like the belt that people will put on that has their bib on it. Will sometimes just have like a little band of elastic sewn onto it, and you kind of just like stuff the gel inside and it holds onto it, kind of like this, like a little ring. I'm just like, I've seen some people have like all of their gels in like those little elastic holsters. There's no pocket holding it in. It's just a band around the middle, and you just hope that the tension holds it in. And I'm just like, how does that not all fall out? I don't know how that works. That would just all fall out for me. I feel like maybe I'm too bouncy or I'm too jittery or something, but I just don't think that would work for me. DadRunnerAl says, my kid does the same, just yells from room for foods. Mom, meatloaf now. What is she doing in there? Yeah. All right. DadRunnerAl says, if you want to get these, you can order from the Crank Sports website. I'll have to check that out. Dan Johnson said he's old school here. I have yet to use a gel for a race or training run. I've got a 25K trail run coming up and might just try one. I was even a Cliff Bar Marathon pacer. There's a Cliff Bar Marathon? Where's that? I mean, I would say, if you got a 25K trail run, yeah, trail run, okay. I thought it said trail race the first time I read that out. So I was like, maybe not for a race, but for a 25K trail run, I mean, depending on the terrain, that would take me a couple hours. So like, yeah, definitely for a couple hours, I want to have something. What do you normally do? You just don't eat anything, or you just drink your calories? What do you normally do? Do you have snacks? Do you pack Stroop waffle? I still think that it's also quite funny that Stroop waffle is a running snack. Like, it just makes no sense. It's big. It's like a wide surface area. It's not like a dense food, like granola bars. It makes sense. It's a dense food. Gels makes sense. Very dense food. Stroop waffle, it's like light and airy, flat, wide surface area, easy to like mush in your pocket. It's like, I don't know, but somehow it caught on. I mean, I'm happy about it because they're delicious, but just so peculiar. Martha said, did I miss the watermelon? We got the watermelon here. Just had it. Oh, I think I'm behind you guys in the chat. And DadRunnerAl says it tastes like taffy. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, kind of candy-like flavors here. Dr. Josh says, have you tried the UCAN gels? I tried them a long time ago. I want to say maybe last summer I tried them. Those are big. Those are also very big. And that is also just like drinking liquid. You can pretty much like pour it in. You don't have to like squeeze it up, you just like kind of just dump it in. For some reason, because like I know that they're like cornstarch based, right? Isn't that right? Is that what it is? But like I just felt like I know that cornstarch doesn't taste like corn, but I just felt like there was something about the UCAN gels that was like, I know this is supposed to be like an orange flavor or something, but there's something kind of like corn, like there's another flavor in there that I'm not sure what it was, but I felt like they worked. I used those on a lot of really long training runs, because I was like, when I'm looking for just maintaining a high level of sugar, not necessarily looking for spikes like I like in a marathon, but like for long training runs or for like ultra marathon runs. Did I bring them for my, I'm trying to think now, did I have them for the FKT attempt of the Heritage Trail? That's the kind of run that I would bring them on, though. That's where I liked them. Brandon Palmer says, any recommendations for a headband for someone that sweats profusely from their head? Anything about 50 degrees and I'm constantly wiping my eyes and face. I like junk bands. They have like the style. They have a lot of different styles, so there's always something that you can find. And then they make it so that way it's a little bit wider up front, which is good for someone that has a receding hairline. And then it kind of like uh, pinches in the back, so it's not like so much covering your head, so it doesn't cover quite so much of like your head, so it'll help with cooling. So that's probably one of the name brands that I see most often. And then I just buy like 3 packs of them on Amazon. They're usually just made out of like kind of like a stretchy mesh material, and those have worked pretty good for me. But I tend to prefer the junk bands ones. So that's what I like. All right, let's see what else we got here. Mark said, last week I mentioned I had some shin splints. General advice was warm up with calf raises and be mindful of running surfaces and shoe stack. As it turns out, I was running on dead shoes. See, there we go. Some people sometimes think that because I review shoes that I'm always constantly just trying to get people to buy more shoes. That may be the effect of what I do, but I don't care if people buy more shoes. The one exception being like, look, if you're getting hurt, if you don't feel great running, try a different pair of shoes. That's probably a good place to start too. But I'm glad that has made that was a simple fix. Yeah. Let's see, there's a follow up. He says, I just have to get those out of the rotation and not save the Nimbus for anything. Yeah. Use them or lose them. I mean, the way I see it is like, if you're not sure, if you suspect that your shoes might be dead, and it's kind of like, if you suspect your shoes are dead at like 100 miles, then I'd be like, either the shoe's not getting along with you, or maybe you have a weird shoe. Probably not the problem. But if it's like the shoes are at like 250, 275 miles, then I'd be like, it's worth trying another shoe. I'd say like, maybe you're missing out on a handful of miles on that shoe, but like overall, it's a pretty inexpensive way to avoid injury, if you think that could, that's not going to be the case for every injury, but for something that's shin splints, but I also do think that, changing and being mindful of the surface is going to be also really helpful, but related to the idea of getting new shoes. All right. Let's see. Everyone's checking their gels now, which I think is funny. Eric says, that made me check my Martin gel dates. Still good through August to November. Phew. And then Martha said, where'd it go? Saw one from Martha. She says, I just checked my boxes of Martin gels. One expires next month, the other in August. Surely they're good for a while after in a cool, dry place. I think that they are. I think that kind of all food sold in the United States has to have some sort of marking on it. So like even like I remember like the one example that always sticks out in my mind is like there's expiration dates on salt, which is like, it's salt, it's a rock. It doesn't go bad. But like, I just think that regulations require that you have to put something on there. So, but I don't think that Martin's lasts quite that long. I've had one where it got puffy. I think I've told you that story, where it's gotten puffy and it looked like it was about to pop because clearly something was like metabolizing in there. So that was one that I got rid of. I don't remember if there was a date on that one. That was the Martin like unofficial, the silver packet, like with no label on it. So I don't remember if there was something stamped on it or not, if it was just all stamped on the box. But lately I've been buying them from the feed. I really got to contact the feed and we got to work out some sort of like affiliate link. Cause I talk about them like every week. I did just place another big order with the feed too. Should be coming any day now. But if you buy them, I buy them from the feed and then I just buy like 6 Martins and then 6 Martin calves at a time. And that holds me over for a little while. Cause I don't use them for every single run. So like rather than buying like a box at a time, I'm still buying a box, but I'm getting the 2 different kinds that I like. So that's kind of what I've been doing with my Martin. Travis McCullough said, my wife ate one of my honey stinger waffles after my race this weekend, and now I'm going to have to hide them. That's awesome. But, here's the good thing about that. That means you're just going to get to, there'll be no question when you're like, you bought more of those, there's not going to be any of that. Because you'll be like, you like them, they're good, you can have them too, So I would think of it as a good thing. But just like, make sure, like, if you absolutely make sure you want to have one and there's like one left in the house, maybe hide that last one, otherwise you might not have any. Dave says, hey, Co, have you tried the Hoka Speed Go 5s yet? Looking for a general purpose trail shoe that can also do a bit of road before the trails, etc. I haven't tried them yet. I originally had planned to try and do a collab video with the Speed Goat. But they got to me so late that it was like by the time I had them, it was like taper time for LA Marathon. So I'm not sure when my video is going to come out on that, because I want to be able to do some trail, like I'm not going to test them out in Chicago, so I think we're going back to Iowa. We usually celebrate Easter early. So we usually go back like Palm Sunday, the week before Easter. So I think probably right around then, I'll have a couple of days where I can get into some trails and get lost, and then finish my, I think I'll have finished my Garmin 945 testing by then too. The big test for the Garmin 945 is going to be the shakeout route for Kofuzi Run Club. Because I've run in DC before, and there's lots of, I've told you this before too, that there's lots of like many different routes you can go on that are very close to each other. And some of them take you the way you want, and some of them will like veer off later. So like if this can get me going the right way, then that'll be the ultimate test. But then maybe I'll just keep wearing the 945 and do some more testing in the trails in Iowa where I have gotten lost before, even though I've been there. So that it'll be a bit on me. Sorry about that. But I think there's a lot of people that are already reviewing it, so that should give you a pretty good idea of what it's going to be. All right, let's do a couple more, and then I got to get going. Luke Lennon said, I just ate an August 2021 Martin this past weekend. It still worked. I'm sure it'll still work. Did it taste all right? I feel like if it tastes all right, it's fine. Just because there's so much that's not in it. It's not like you're eating like something that has lots of different flavors or that can mask nastiness. I think if it started to go, you would know right away. Would that be one of those situations where you like eat it and it's rancid and you'd be like, ah. I mean, how just disgusting would that be? Can you imagine that? Let's say you're like, let's say you're running Boston. Not that they would have expired Martins at Boston, but let's say you're just running any marathon and you're with the pack, you're with the pace group, and then all of a sudden, at a certain point, someone just starts like vomiting, and you're like, you okay? What's going on? They're like, bad gel. Like, I've never heard that happen before, but now I'm like, now I'm not gonna be able to get that out of my mind. Danny J says, don't water bottles have expiration dates? I believe that they do. I'm not sure how that works. But I guess it would be like, well, will the seal on the water bottle like degrade over time? I'm not sure how that works. Lucas H says his scratch packets are expired, and the store sold them to me already expired. Ooh, that's a bummer. I would probably just bring it back. I'm sure that they'll exchange them for you. Dr. Josh says, you're at a restaurant and you say, excuse me, is this table salt expired? Can you imagine telling them, like, I feel like the salt is a little off. Can I get another salt shaker, please? And then just get you one from the other table and bring it to you. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure the rest of your food would come out with spit in it at that point. Shannon says, bacteria. If it's expired, Martin, it won't go to waste in this household. Nice. Oh, nice. Dan Johnson says, there's a lot of confusion on expiration dates, or rather best sell dates. A lot of that is simply marketing and a way to move product. That I can certainly understand, that there is a difference between best buy dates and like sell by dates. But yeah, I feel like either way, it's kind of a good barometer as to like, maybe this has been around a little bit too long. Yeah. Martha says, expiration dates for tablets like Tylenol and similar can be ignored. A pharmacist told me the worst that could happen is it loses its strength after a half-life of a century, probably. Well, I mean, if it lost 50% of its potency in 100 years, that's kind of a lot, but I guess 100 years is also a very long time. But yeah, my wife all the time is very, very like, she looks at all the labels, especially on the medicine, like the children's Motrin. She's like, make sure the children's Motrin isn't expired. Like, it's a conversation we have going into the winter, because that's usually when the kids get sick. So we got some children's Motrin over here, coincidentally. I don't see where I think expires 12/22 for this children's Motrin. This is right there. It's too bright in here. Let's see, we can see it. Yeah, see? I'm pretty sure, Martha, that I'm not going to be allowed to win that argument to say that it's probably fine to have expired medications. I'm just letting you know how it goes in this house. And it said, I couldn't wait. I just made a flat white, so I got a stroopwafel. That sounds good. That sounds really good. All right, I'm about to lose my camera here. The battery is dying. There we go. We haven't done that in a long time, so it means it must mean that spring is coming, because it's getting warmer in here. So I'm going to leave it there for today, guys. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Tomorrow, we're going to have to play a game. It's Trivia Tuesday, and we haven't had a real game in a long time. I'll think of something for tomorrow. We'll figure it out. We'll have some fun. Same time as today, 1 p.m. Central Time. Hopefully, I'll see you then. Tomorrow, I don't think we're going to have a video tomorrow, but we'll do the live stream. So hopefully I'll see you then. In the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.